Hello, this is welcome. This is Foretales. This is a card-driven narrative RPG. I have never once beaten this game. I've played the first mission a few times, and I've gotten about halfway through the second mission. Really fun game, actually. It's just I've had a lot of troubles actually trying to get a structure to go on and play these. But I figure since I'm going to go ahead and do it for YouTube, I'll just delete my saves and we'll go ahead and do this together. So let's get into it. A mysterious patron. Volpan needs money to help his father and the local miners. His friend Leo says there's someone in town with a very lucrative job offer. Is it that Rafiki ass looking monkey? Probably not. Welcome to Foretales, an adventure game where you progress by combining cards and exploring decks. This is it, Volpen. Our ticket to the easy life. One last job, and our days of stealing apples from the market are behind us. That's what you said last time. So who is this contact of yours? His name's Timothy. He says he has work for people like us. And you're sure he can pay? Because I could really do with the money right now. Don't worry, he promised a hefty reward. Should be more than enough to help your father and the miners with their strike. And for me to take an early retirement. He's just a little hard to track down sometimes. Well, we better start asking around then.
He looks like a good place to start.
Good day to you, young bird. How can I be of assistance? We're looking for somebody by the name of Timothy. Ah, I see. A very secretive fellow is he. I think I heard something about him the other day, but sadly my memory isn't what it once was. Right. And what might jog your memory, I wonder? A bite to eat usually does the trick. About 5 food should be sufficient. 5? That's enough to last a few days. Ignore my friend here. We'll come back with some food for you. We already have 1. We just need 4 more. A typical region of the game is composed of 3 to 6 location cards placed on the board. You can learn more by hovering over your cursor over a card. I screwed the last part of that up, but oh well. Sometimes left-clicking on cards will also trigger dialogue or reactions from your characters. Try it out for yourself. Left-click on the left card with the beggar and he will remind you of what he wants. Would you spare a morsel of food for an old beggar? I wouldn't call 5 food a morsel. This is demanding work for an old man like me. I'd like to see you try it. Yeah. You'll get your food all right. You have 2 types of cards at your disposal. Skill cards of your adventures, which are these cards right down here. And consumable cards, which are these cards right down here. Targets will often be location cards, but not always. When you hover over one of your cards, the possible targets are highlighted along with the hints as to what will happen if you play there. So pay attention to what is highlighted and where the hints appear. Conversely, if you place your cursor over the elements of the board, it will highlight the action cards you can play there. Take a moment to explore the current cards to see if you can figure out a way to find enough food to proceed. Now, basically all that was saying is if I hover over here, it'll highlight what I can use down there. If I hover over this, it'll highlight what I can use up there. Now, we need food for Rafiki over there, but I'm really not even worried about him at the moment. Because there are much, much better things that we can do here. Like this. This is going to stack a card, which is going to be the townsfolk. They've come in to see us. Leo's mighty roar drew a crowd of curious townsfolk. Now, what we're going to do with them is we're going to give them 2 gold, get 4 fame.
Well, how very altruistic.
And these are what we're going to use to get past a few different interactions in the game. One very important rule to remember: you can only play 1 card per location card on the board. Sometimes it will transform the target card into another card, into another location, but most of the time it will just consume and travel to the next card. A standard card comes from the deck on the side there, and once a slot is available, it will automatically be filled with the top card of the exploration deck. You can't run out of location cards to explore because the exploration deck is always cycled. So this bottom, that goes to the top. Pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. And now we're gonna fleece this fool for some food. Smooth. He didn't notice a thing.
Compared to some of the other things he'd stolen, this was small potatoes.
Now we do this. And that gives us 4 fame, so now we're at 10.
Heartwarming stuff.
And we already ran into these assholes. That's just great, but oh well. Beware, a hostile token is blocking this card. You won't be able to play any cards on this suspicious street until you get rid of these bandits. If you left click on the token, you can see a creature's form in the group and decide whether or not you want to engage or not. Most confrontations start with a negotiation phase. If you have the correct resources, you might be able to discard this threat without any violence. But if you don't absolutely need to play a card here, you may as well avoid any conflict and play on other cards that are available. So basically saying, if I have other things that I can do, I don't need to do that. Or I shouldn't, because it's basically a waste of time until I'm just rolling in resources. Alrighty. I don't remember what I can do here. Nope, no, wrong card. I'm gonna use that to go to the noisy tavern. Something smells good. Leo. What? I'm hungry. Okay. I don't... We do that, then we get the usual suspects. And we'll come across this card again, because like it said, the deck is always cycling. Now this is a special card that just stacks on top of that. Help with what? The usual suspects. They'll slit your throat if you so much as look at them the wrong way. But get on their good side and they can make for useful allies. I don't want them as allies because they'll probably slit my throat anyway. But the whole point is to come over here and steal their lockpick. And see, there's Noisy Tavern again. Now we take that and we'll go get an eavesdrop out of our deck. Oh yeah, the 16 rest cards. I didn't even read the first part. My bad. Since rest cards will give skill cards back to all adventurers, it's often a good idea to use actions from both of your adventurers and not just one. If you spread the effort between them, they won't have to rest as often. And the first part of that was basically explaining that if you get to this card back here, this one right here, that's game over. Not if it's like if you get to it and you try to use it, that's game over. Okay, and now we're going to eavesdrop, which is going to stack that with the Bladesmith's hideout. Now that's interesting. Sounds like there's a private room under the tavern. We go here, and from there we'll lockpick, giving us money. There's nothing they can do. I am a master thief. And this is the marketplace where I can get food, but I don't think I need much from here. That'll give us the block kids. I'm not sure if the block kids actually do anything here. That's actually a good question. I've never tried to use the block kids here. Like, at all. You know what? Yeah, let's do that. We'll get the solidarity of the week back. And we're going to use... Well, wait a minute. We're going to use fame because we have more fame than we have gold. Won't get in the way. Promise. Yeah, I have no voice for children. You've recruited at least one fighting ally. Allies can be used on your adventure cards during fights. They will add to your attack score. For as long as they're alive, obviously. Depending on the type of ally, they will either position themselves in front or behind you. Front allies add a layer of protection and preserve your health, but may not survive the whole fight. Allies in the back will only serve as support and increase your attack, but they most likely will survive until the end of the confrontation. Whether they survive or not, the allies used in combat are discarded at the end of the confrontation. And son of a bitch, they're here again.
These chaps aren't here to discuss pickpocketing techniques.
Assholes, leave me alone. I'm trying to do stuff here, alright? Well, screw it. I'll show you how combat works now. Because combat is really simple and all I have to do is get rid of her and these two are gonna run.
We don't want any trouble here.
You started your first confrontation, but maybe there's no need for violence. When you hover over cards at your disposal, you may discover ways to get rid of some of your opponents. If you get rid of enough opponents, you'll bring the morale of the group down to 0 and the rest will flee. If you use an aggressive card, the confrontation will automatically turn into a fight. But if you don't have any cards to play or don't want to play any cards, left click on the auto battle token to trigger the fight manually. Is that little deal right there, which we're not going to do because we're just going to click this, give her gold, and she's going to leave. An enemy was just removed from the confrontation. In most cases, this will subtract its level from the enemy's morale. Should the enemy morale reach 0, the remaining hostiles will flee. Level of an enemy is the number at the top left corner of the card. So she's level 3, there's only 3 morale there, they're going to run. You brought the enemy morale to 0. All remaining hostiles will now flee for their lives. Yeah, because they're bitches. When you trigger a panic, each fleeing enemy will grant you 1 fame, whatever their level.
That was a let off.
So I get rid of her, I get 2 fame. Always good to have. Now we're going to take this and do a rallying cry. Because we can bring them in and get more fame. Let's see, what else do we have here? He's basically out of cards. I'm trying to think here. I'm not gonna rest until he's completely out of cards. What's his last card? A pickpocket? Okay. So we're not going for them. We're going to bring out the usual suspects. Care to help a young bird down on his luck? Help with what? Well, I want your lockpick. Because the lockpick's gonna get me money and food. So I need that. Now this could come in handy. Yeah, it's gonna come in really handy. Okay, that takes us to the Noisy Tavern. Food, drink, good company, and what more? What could the strapping young adventurer asks for? So now we're at the Noisy Tavern. We can do this and get a bunch of food, or we can go down and get money. Which this is something that it'll explain later, but I'm just going to explain it now. you can take a card, put it on here, and switch it out for this. If the card's in the discard pile, it will cost food. So I'm gonna use eavesdrop to take us to the bladesmith's hideout. And down here, the bladesmith's hideout, I'm gonna use that to give us more money.
Oh, bravo. Oh, bravo.
We're not gonna go to him just yet. Also, I'm gonna switch this out because we're not gonna be fighting too terribly much. Like, when I say we're not gonna be fighting, we're not gonna be taking damage. We're basically just going to get rid of a character and boost our fame.
The great thing about mercenaries is you can always give them a better offer.
Okay, so now I don't have any more cards for Volpang. The only cards we can play are here. That'll draw a small crowd. Use fame to get food.
Ah, delicious.
I'm not gonna read every little deal that's here because that would take whatever. And yes, I am totally ignoring this Rafiki looking ass monkey because I'm trying to bolster my numbers.
Are you sure about that one? Looked pretty well fed to me.
2 gold there and we get more fame.
Well, how very altruistic.
Okay, I don't have a lockpick anymore. He'll steal 1 food for us and move that to it. That's something I never knew that he would do. Yeah, go ahead, kid. Go get me food. Because I'm not really using him for anything else. So sell that because we're not taking any damage, so there's no point in
Something told
keeping
Volpang
on to it.
These chaps weren't here to talk.
All those just give 1 food. And we'll take that 1 food actually, because we only have 2 food. And we need to start bolstering that as well. Then we're back there. So we're going to sell another one of these because we don't need any of the healing items. We're not going to take any damage in this first level here. So using any of these is kind of pointless for us. But we can use fame to basically steamroll everything at this point.
Well, I don't know about you, but my mouth is watering.
And whenever I come here, I always do that because the fame is something that's going to basically boost all of our stuff. So wherever we go, we're going to be able to just run right past people because we're basically the most famous people in the slums at this point. He needs 5 food. Yeah, that asshole. And here, I'm not really worried about spending fame because she costs 6, I have 24, so that's... and I get 2 back, so I'm only actually spending about 4. So it's not really that big of a deal there. We're gonna move that to the Noisy Tavern again. And we're going to grab some
Army
food.
marches on its stomach. The same goes for a band of thieves and weirdos.
And we're at the Noisy Tavern again. So I'm going to bring back a survivor sense.
Ah, Leo would be pleased with that. Well,
And basically we're gonna get 2 cards for all of that. It gives us one food and 1 fame. What else do we got? And we're gonna do that again, so we're just gonna sell a deal here. And then he's here, and we're just gonna use fame again. Because like I said, when that's the whole point in bolstering your fame is in any of your little consumables here that aren't these cards. Because you can basically just run through certain things and certain obstacles without having to worry about it.
Ah, delicious. Well,
Like now I have enough to give to Rafiki, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do now because I'm not gonna mess with either of these right now because I'm not in the mood. But we're gonna give some money to Rafiki. Well, not money. We're gonna give some food to Rafiki over here. Oh, thank you, young bird. Now about that Timothy chap. But of course, where are my manners? Here, follow this path.
that should show the way. Very kind of you, I must say.
Thanks for the tip, friend. A good day to you, bird. Well, what now? I suppose we should follow the old beggar's directions on that piece of paper? Sometimes you'll have to seek directions to progress in the story and reach new destinations. Check the descriptions on your cards. That piece of paper. Yes, that piece of paper. Like, where else? Let's see. Okay, we're going to go ahead and just move that along there.
Delicious.
Okay, this area right here is where that card can be used. Now, we're going to just kind of, we're going to go through a little bit and bolster some numbers and before we actually like leave this first area, because we haven't used any of our rests. So we still have all those left. And having those is going to pretty much ensure that we can do whatever we really want and not have any trouble.
Well, you can walk away from this richer, or not at all. No autographs, please.
That gives them money. That's and food isn't very useful in terms of outside of it doing like killing you and getting people to like that Rafiki dude. Besides doing stuff like that, food isn't really like used to pay off people, so it's not that great. Money and fame, on the other hand, oh, and also Grim, which I didn't even bother with Grim this go around. But to get Grim, you have to do some scummy shit that I'm not going to do. Like, you know, like this whole crowd comes up and you shoot everybody in the crowd.
Very kind of you, I must say.
Maybe some other playthrough will do that. And I'm gonna give 2 gold to both of them.
Very generous of you.
That can be sold. That can get us 2 food.
Sweet.
That can get us fame.
Very kind.
And see, once you have certain things done up, you can just kind of run through. 1 gold there.
No wonder you're always poor, Volpan. You keep giving
I'm
your
not
money
poor.
away.
Damn it!
You do make a lot of enemies, Volpan.
I don't know why they're my enemies. They're just assholes.
Well, you won't go hungry for a while.
Okay, and now we're gonna leave because these guys are douchebags.
Yes, that's it.
A heavily bandaged figure stood alone in the alleyway. He looked like he was waiting for someone. As Volpan and Leo approached, the figure turned to greet them. Ah, Leo, so you're finally here. And you brought a crow. I'm a shoebill. But of course you are. We heard you have work. Do I ever? But before we get down to brass tacks, I always like to understand who I'm working with. What do you mean? I'd like a demonstration of the value you'll bring to this operation. A demonstration? Yes, you know, skills, my boy. Show me your skills. The pair looked at each other perplexed. What did he mean, skills? Skills in combat, sleight of hand, or maybe just a good old trick shot from Leo? And we're gonna use 1 rest now, because that's going to be free.
Wake up, sleepyhead. World's still ending.
And this is... And yeah, I already explained this, so I'm just going to move right past that because it's pretty self-explanatory. You get to the end of the rest deck, you will lose the game. But we are going to pickpocket this guy. What if I were to steal your purse right from under your nose? That would be impressive, especially as you've warned me you were about to. Hold on a minute. With a wry smile, Volpan produced a finely embroidered purse full of gold. The masked figure was taken aback. Very impressive indeed. Here you go, all present and correct. I'll tell you what, keep it. Consider it the first payment. Oh, thanks very much. Now then, perhaps you'd like to tell us what it is you needed? I would like for you to acquire an item from me. An instrument, in fact. A very rare and beautiful lyre that is currently in possession of the esteemed Lady Cattell. You mean the old bat who lives on the hill? I wouldn't call her that to her face, but yes, that's her. I'd like you to break into her manor, steal the lyre, and bring it to me at the Holy Grove. The Holy Grove? I know that place well. I'll get you there myself, Volpan. Excellent. Now then I'll leave you to it. I look forward to our next meeting. Alright, we've got a job to do. At long last. We can get straight to it if you think we're ready to go. Or we can spend some more time on the streets and prepare. It's your call. Consumables and resources are carried to the next region, but they're not carried to the next mission, is all that say. So we could stay here and do a little more. Basically bolstering numbers. Like sell gold, not sell gold, sell food. Got a good price for those apples at the market. But we can sell food and stuff like that to basically bolster numbers that matter. Food matters to an extent, but it's not the end all be all of what we need. So I'm more liberal with food, especially in the first level, because like I said, I played the first level like 1,000 times, so it's not like I don't know what's going on here. Let's see, do that and then I get that. Actually, that's not a bad call there. Use that. Get the crowd to come over, and we'll give them 2 gold, which will give us 4 fame, bring us up to almost 40. And now we're going to go ahead and leave. Well, shit. We were going to go ahead and leave until that card came up, because when that card comes up, I always do that card.
Got off on the wrong foot.
Okay. 3 gold to her, and she leaves.
No one had to get stitches. Bravo.
I've been up for a while. I'm tired. Now this would be a thing that I could do, but there is no point to it, because all it's gonna do is give me 2 grim, which having 2 grim doesn't mean much for me right now. So I'm gonna take this and exchange it for an eavesdrop. Do that. Bring out the bladesmith's hideout. Then I will go ahead and spend this the last rest that I can safely spend.
You ever have a nap so good that you forget that the world is in?
And then I'm gonna replace that with the solidarity of the week to bring out these guys. And then from there, what we're going to do is we're going to pickpocket them. And we're going to lockpick this.
These people ought to start investing in better locks. Yes, that's it.
And now we have 2 deals to make money, so we're just going to go ahead and sell these.
You may have been ripped off there.
I technically don't need either of these, but we'll go ahead and do this and then we'll leave,
Not going to finish.
because there's nothing else we can really do here. Well, there might be, but I wouldn't know,
Not using it. May as well take the gold. Something told Volpan.
because there are
here to
quite a few secret interactions that happen in this game. Somewhere in the garden, Leo has brought Volpan to the city gardens, where the food is plentiful and the secrets lurk around every corner. Deep in the labyrinth lies our hero's destination for the evening, Lady Catel's Manor. There are now several hostile creatures in the search party, the deck of cards representing the animals chasing your party. Each time in a new location card appears on the board, if it has a search party call token with an eye on it, it may spawn cards from the search party. Some of your actions may also add hostiles to the search party, hostiles that you may have to face later, so do be careful, because that deck can actually just get insane. Right then, Timothy said the instrument is inside Lady Catel's manor. The big house with the labyrinth? That's the one. But getting through the hedge maze is going to be tough. I think I saw some gardeners wandering around earlier. Maybe they know the way?
Volpan was ready to take on the law.
Okay. Okay, I had to check the time, make sure we were still good on the recording there. Alrighty. Now, there's a gardener right up there. And we're gonna use fame and grab him. A little help? Sure thing. Now all we need to do is lead the garden to the labyrinth and the rest should be easy. We'll see about that.
A fine spot for looting.
Most decks on the board can be browsed. For example, if you check the content of the exploration deck, you can see what will that one tripped me up for some reason and I don't know why. What will be the next locations to be revealed? Maybe your current objective is somewhere in there. Maybe you want to check if the card you're looking for is coming up soon. If a card is not in the exploration deck, there may be a way to access it with basically the transformation, the stacking effect, or some... I don't know what these icons mean. They don't explain that very well. Or maybe I'm just haven't looked at it because I just know what's going on. Because that's like a progressing the main story. And remember, the exploration deck is cycling.
There has to be a way in.
And yes, that gardener can actually open the gate for us. It's better than nothing. We can find something to show us the way to the middle. Or someone. Okay, and then what we do is we call for him. Need some help, sir? Which we will change the pickpocket. We don't have any food. So we're actually gonna come over here and remove these guards from the field. Oh, my ear.
Nothing's worth a fight with the watch guards. Perhaps there's another way. It's good
Hey man, I know you've heard of me. Go away. And we're gonna do that with both of them.
The last thing we want is a bunch of angry guards on our tails. Excuse me, hero coming through.
Hero coming through. I don't know if I'd classify us as heroes.
Ah, delicious. Well, I hope you have a good lawyer, Volpan.
And this tiny little dude here, he is so terrified. Just look at his face.
Cost to forget about all this.
Just go home, dude.
Kind of a big
You don't belong in the guard. Then we're gonna grab him. And he can get us 4 food. And that's, I guess, the main thing food's for.
All right. Who called the cops?
Why are y'all getting in my way? Go, leave me alone. I am trying to do shit here, if you couldn't tell. I'm trying to steal from this bitch.
What's the matter, tough guy?
Don't need that card, so we will bring this out. I have not found a single thing I can actually do with this. So, besides bringing him out. And then we're gonna just recruit him one more time. Oh, two more times since he actually popped up twice. We're going to use one to take some food.
Could be something good there.
And now we're going to use our free rest to get 3 skill cards back.
All right, back to work.
And it automatically adds them. But that's nothing to be worried about. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and use him. Would you show us the way through the maze? I've trimmed these hedges many a time. Follow me.
That's quite a statue.
Also a really weird statue, because I don't know if Lady Cattell is one of those elephant people or if she's actually a giant spider. I don't know. Sorry, sis. I'd rather not go any further. What? You're serious? We're barely halfway. It's the statue, sis. It's bad luck. It's haunted. The gardener backed away from the statue nervously, leaving Volpan and Leo alone. They had to admit it was a rather foreboding sight. Great. Shh. I think I hear a guard on patrol coming. Quick, hide!
Oh, looks like you've got the law on your tail.
The patrol took up position right in front of the statue. Patrols we can deal with, but how are we going to find a way through the rest of the labyrinth? We found the map, remember? That should help us figure out the best route. Of course. Let's take a look once we've dealt with the watch. If at any point you're lost on a mission, you can always use the hint system. Hovering over the button will... Okay, I'm not even going to read this because here's the thing. I'm not going to do hints. I don't do that. Hints bother me so much. Just take them out of games. I don't want a hint. I play puzzle games. Like, come on, man. I don't need them. Okay, let's see. We're gonna go ahead and spin. Well, do I need to? No.
Perhaps we can come to an arrangement, officers.
Enemy powers can trigger during the negotiation phase or during combat. They may trigger once or every few rounds. If you hover over a creature card, you will see a detailed description of its powers. And specifically what they're talking about is this guy. His power. Add a constable to the search party every round. And we're going to do that.
I'm kind of a big deal. That was you, by the way. Hero of Eisenberg. Perhaps you've heard of him?
Using the hint system multiple times may give you more explicit help for more complex situations. And what are we waiting for? Let's go. And then we take this, we go here. If I'm reading this right, we should be there in no time. Good thing too, it's almost nighttime. Perfect timing. The darker the better.
That's Lady Cattell's manor.
Finally. Hey, maybe that's the hard part, and it's all downhill from here. You have no fucking idea. Wishful thinking. It's getting dark. Time to get down to business. Hold on a sec. This could be our last chance to rest up. I need my nimble hands at the ready. Sometimes your and that's just explaining what I've been doing this entire time, which is changing the cards out. Also, sorry if it doesn't sound like I'm excited to read some of these, because it's like there are some that I've just been doing, and they're pretty obvious. So let's go ahead and get that liar one. Why don't we? All right, let's do this. Do what you do best. I'll cover the exit. Under the cover of night, Volpan ghosted into the manor undetected. He darted through the corridors until he reached the main hall. There, in plain sight, stood the lyre, in all its splendor, glinting in the moonlight. All he had to do was reach out and take it.
The second he touched the mysterious lyre, Volpan felt an ancient power flowing through him. Reality fractured and exploded into an infinite number of worlds, all identical and yet somehow distinct. Beyond the webs of fate, he witnessed all possible futures, resonating, vibrating, clashing. And then he saw, and he knew. He, his loved ones, his city, his kingdom, his world, everything was going to disappear, swallowed up by a cataclysm whose origin lurked behind the veil of possibilities.
The second he touched the relic, the sheer power of the visions caused poor Volpan to collapse to the spot. Leo took his unconscious friend on his back and fled the mansion, the army of guards at their heels. Hang in there, old friend. We'll get through this. I'll deal with the guards and get you to a safe place. Volpan! Volpan! Congratulations, the graveyard is empty. You managed to complete the mission with absolutely no victims, which I'm hoping to do for the rest of this game, because it gets really bullshit having everybody chasing you around. It might not always be this easy, but beware. If you leave a trail of bodies behind you, you may have to face the consequences later.
Outstanding!
Volpan awoke in the forest of Ronkeri, his head throbbing. The lyre was on the ground beside him, but Leo was nowhere to be found. Leo? Leo! Where is he? What happened? At the moment, he remembered the visions.
Gods, is it real?
Before he had time to think, Volpan was struck with a vision of his friend in prison. A wave of despair swept over him. Leo, where are they taking him? Are they going to execute him? Oh gods, please, no. This is a doom event card. It symbolizes the tragic events that only Volpan can see, and that will lead the world to its end. The number above the doom card indicates how many turns you have left before it happens, or at least that's if you do nothing to prevent it. Each mission you complete costs a turn, but don't worry, if you fail to complete a mission, you can always retry with no time penalty. I need to help him before it's too late. They must have locked him up in the Eisenberg prison. This is a mission card. The choice of which missions you complete and the order in which you complete them in is crucial to preventing doom events from occurring. Missions also come with secret side objectives and choices, all leading to different outcomes. It's up to you to experiment and make the right choices to fight fate. I'm coming, Leo. Wait, what the...
Gods, is it real?
Volpan was struck with another flash. The smell of blood, the clash of metal, and the roar of a battle. A vision of a massacre yet to come. The miners' strike? Father! The militia are preparing attack on the blockade. Lady Cattell must be behind this. I have to warn them or they'll all be slaughtered. If I'm going to warn the miners, I'll need to find their leader, Karst. They won't budge an inch without his say-so. God, what have I done? It's this damn instrument. Volpan looked at the strange liar with disgust. I wish I had never touched that blasted thing. Maybe if I give it back to Lady Cattell, that might smooth things over. After all, a fault confessed is half redressed. If I write a letter of apology and present it to the Council of Mothers, they might be able to put pressure on Cattell to prevent her from ordering the massacre. Volpan looked at the lyre once more, but packing it into his satchel. I don't know why I said panicking. Jesus Christ. Slowly, painfully, he dragged himself to his feet. All right, Volpan, you can fix this. He took a good look around in an effort to get his bearings. To the left, he saw the fumes of the city above the trees. To his right, the silhouette of the Pharos Mount, shrouded in the acrid smoke of the mines. Better get moving. Your adventure begins now. Make your own choices, discover their consequences. Welcome to Foretales. And that, my people, is part 1 of Foretales. We're going to stop here and we will pick it up later. But I hope y'all enjoyed that video.